about her story. And then the naked lady gets eaten. Welcome to Whining About Her Story, the women's history podcast, where two besties with breasties make terrible parodies of classic cinema music and whine about women that you probably haven't heard of, but definitely should have, while drinking a bottle or 3 of wine. I'm Emily.
I'm Kelly.
And guess who just rewatched the whole Jaws quadrilogy? The whole Jaws quartet? What is a set of 4 called?
I mean, I think it depends on like what sort of media it is.
It's movies, so it's a quartet of films.
I actually don't know.
Oh my god! Okay, that makes me feel better. Or is it a saga? Because
it might be a saga.
Because like Twilight was the Twilight saga.
It could either be a quadrilogy.
I was right.
Yep, or a tetralogy, either one.
Okay, I'm just gonna say the fact that I was making up like
a word
quadrilogy and it's real.
Quad is 4, so like it's pretty good. Yeah, and it says the examples include Thor, Toy Story, and Jaws. So it could be either one. Also,
Even
Men in Black apparently has 4.
I thought they had 2 and then the reboot. I don't know.
A set of 4 films.
Been a long time since the 90s.
Apparently,
all I remember is the
1, 2,
animated
3,
series.
and then there's a spin-off that they count as part of
Okay, there we go. So I just rewatched all those on Netflix because it's the Jaws 50th anniversary. And I will say, Jaws
I think
1.
I've only ever seen 1.
It's the only one you really need to see. I will say the second one, if you finish Jaws and you're like, I'm not ready to be done though, watch the second. It's not bad.
And then you're ready to be done, no matter what your brain tells you.
The third one was the one that they tried to do in 3D. So there are all these like really awkwardly long, bad CG mode. Like this one, dude,
like things coming towards you
slowly,
that are just
slow. It opens up with like this fish getting bitten in half, and its severed head slowly floats towards you for 10 minutes, and you're like, I get it.
There's another movie that's like that was like made at that like height of 3D, and it's the same thing where it's just like, oh yeah, this was very clearly intended to like be 3D, and it's so bad when it's not.
Yeah, no, there are several moments where you're like, oh my god, this is so bad. It's like, as far as I still had fun. It's a bummer because a baby shark dies in it. And then you're like, fuck you guys, because I try to like keep it in captivity. And then the guy who's running the sea park, because it's basically SeaWorld, but Jaws gets into SeaWorld. And he's like, I want to make a bunch of money of having this like baby great white shark in captivity. So I'm going to put it in this pool and let people watch it. And like in front of a whole crowd of people, and it's a very fake shark, but like the rubber toy just like flips on its back, and one of the actors jumps in and is like trying to revive it. Here's the thing. The effects, terrible. The idea of a shark being brought into captivity to only like then die in front of hundreds of people, fucking sad and senseless. And we need to protect our oceans, which includes our sharks. So then when the bigger shark comes and actually starts fucking everything up, you're kind of like, fuck around and find out. This is the find out part.
This is fine.
Fuck you guys. Like, I'm sorry. So, and then the fourth retroactively ignores the third one. Like it retroactively is like the third one never actually happened.
When they do that.
It's definitely the worst. It's definitely the worst. And I hate it because they kill one of the kids. Like, he's grown up, but they kill him in the beginning. And I was like, no. No, he went through so much in his life. And the shark still fucking got him. This is bullshit. So. But that one British guy, Michael Caine, is in it. And he's just lovely.
That one British guy.
Well, because I couldn't remember his name for a second.
I know. That's
Michael Caine is in it, and he's just delightful to watch, no matter what is going on or how bad the effects are. So
okay.
So Kelly, what are we drinking today?
What are we drinking?
Now that I've sufficiently whined about Jaws.
Yes.
It's one of those things. Every decade or every like 5 to 10 years, I just get the craving. I'm like, I have to watch all the movies. And I did it several years ago, like back when I was still living in my apartment. And I have Netflix again.
Yep.
And it's totes legal the way I have Netflix. Don't come at me. And I was like, I watched the first one because it's the 50th anniversary. I'm like, oh my God, they have all the others on here. It's been so long. I know they're bad, but like, it's been
You
so
just couldn't
long.
stop yourself.
I couldn't. And then like, I watched the third and I put off watching the fourth one for days because I'm like, I know the fourth one sucks. And I don't like the opening.
I like that instead of just not watching it like most people would. Well, you're just like, finish. I'll watch it.
I had to finish.
You're crazy.
Because I needed my opinions about the Jaws quadrilogy to be updated. So Kelly, where are we drinking?
Still sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. We are drinking a wine called Eccentric.
Hot.
It's Merlot from Argentina. And it says, a peculiar community harboring hip, sophisticated llamas, unhurried cows, and hot-tempered geese live among these vineyards. This may not be the typical wildlife that you would expect to find living near the vines, but the animals have become quite friendly with our winemaker, who rumor has it can even speak to the creatures. As eccentric as he may be, he definitely rocks.
So this is the AU where Dr. Doolittle is like, I'm going to open a winery.
Yeah. And it says, aromas of cherries, plums, chocolate, and tobacco stand out with a delicate and persistent finish on the palate.
You know, I think it's funny. They're like, these aren't the typical animals you think you'd find. And I'm like, actually, I would see all of those in the Midwest. The llamas are hit or miss.
It says not near the vines. Because usually, like, vineyards don't keep animals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess. But I'm like, I don't know.
But this is Argentina, so...
We go out to Four Daughters, and I'm like, there's so many fucking cows, and we got geese up the ass here, and you see llamas every now and then.
But like, I'm thinking about like actually around Four Daughters, there's a lot of corn, but there's not a lot of cows.
You're right.
Like, yeah, eccentric.
All right. Well, I dig
They're better
this.
actually if we ever go to Argentina, we're gonna find this winery, and if there's not actually animals there, I'm gonna be real mad.
I'm gonna hit someone with the bottle. Yeah. I mean, like, your bottle advertised.
We're gonna go find the eccentric bottle.
Show me Dr. Doolittle. Let him commune to the animals for me. Ask the llamas why they spit at me. I just want to touch them. They are soft.
That's why. That's why they spit at you.
Ask the llamas for consent before I just rub my body all over their plushness. Exactly. God damn it. Well, cheers to llamas and talking animals and eccentric and sharks. Cheers, always cheers to fucking sharks. Ooh. It's kind of like a fruity Merlot, like the cherries. I very much get that.
Yeah, it's not like, it's still pretty dry. Most Merlots are pretty dry, but it's not like communion wine dry.
Yeah, it's got like some juiciness to it. I really like this.
I feel like we're becoming more of red drinkers. Like,
100%.
I feel like if you go back 5 years, almost 6 years now, to when we started this podcast, we were not red wine drinkers.
I actually want to go back and re-listen to the episodes and figure out when the shift for me happened, because there was a time where I was like,
happened for you before it happened.
Absolutely, because I'm like, Cab Sauves, who fucking knew except the rest of the world?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and this is such a good wine because we're leaving summer. We're entering fall. This is a really good bridge because it's still got that summer fruitiness with the cherry, but it's a Merlot, which is like a distinctly cooler weather wine. Yeah. And I'm very into this.
Same.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I might have to get a bottle later. This is really good.
Yeah,
I like the name too.
I think it was at they're not Wines of the World. The other one.
Total Wine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was from like my box of wines from around the world. I think it was from Total Wine. Who knows? I got it somewhere. It exists.
I actually had someone ask me today how we pick the wines for our episodes. And
I'm like, ha!
Oh, you think there's actual planning involved?
No, like the planning is it a pretty bottle?
And that's what I said. I was like, does the bottle have a cool design? Is it a fun name? I name dropped Feisty Bitch, which is a great local wine.
Sometimes if we like maybe just researched a woman, sometimes we're like, oh, let's, like we might have that in mind.
I actually feel like the wine has chosen the woman for us before, because you've done a few wines that are named after women that we've covered or related to women we cover.
Yeah.
Like port. I was not a fan of port.
Yeah, we did that one, like, it was like, we didn't even do one that like the dude at the liquor store recommended, and it was like Greek church wine. Like, he actually said that.
Yes.
That was not good. We did not like that. I still don't think we like that one.
But we on a separate occasion had port because
which we also didn't like.
Because it's the same shit. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, stop renaming it and tricking me.
Yeah.
I don't want this. So before we get started about the women today, there is an event that we wanted to plug. The History Remembered, Understanding World War II Atrocities in the Pacific is happening on September 18th at the Presidio Officers Club in San Francisco, California. We are going to be there. We are very excited. We get like press passes.
Yeah, like we're not like speaking or anything. No, but we're just going.
But we're there. We were invited to go, and we're just like half a step up from just like being attendees, which feels very, very special. We're we are so into history, and you know us, we are so into the dark history, and we have talked quite a bit about the atrocities in the Pacific Theater. And honestly, the second I read the word atrocities, I'm like, I don't care what comes after it, I'm down. So Kelly and I are going to be there on September 18th in San Francisco. If you're around the area, if you'd like to attend, definitely check it out, show up. I'm pretty sure the tickets are free.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a combination of like speakers and families of people that like survived it, like other people that are actually historians. It should be a good time though. Like it's an all-day thing. Actually, it looks like it features like people that are still alive that survived too, actually.
Yeah.
Which and we have. There is food. People care about that, but it's going to be a lot, and I think it's going to be really, really cool.
So if you're in the area, September 18th, Presidio, San Francisco, California, be there.
Heck yeah.
Or tune into after we come back and then hear us.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it.
I also want to give a huge shout out to Jenny Chan,
who reached out to us.
She reached out to us.
Is one of the organizers?
Yes. So she reached out to us to invite us because she heard our most recent Memorial Day episode. And when I say heard, I mean she actually listened. And in the email she sent us, she referenced things that we talked about, things that I had kind of forgotten that we had mentioned.
Same. Yep.
There was a whole thing about Big Macs where I read that, I was like, oh my God, we did talk about Big Macs.
I was like, that was that day, wasn't it? Yep.
So I thought that was very sweet. Huge shout out to her. And again, everyone involved in the organization, because it is so important to preserve this history, to remember, and to not only to remember, but to tell these stories so that they can live on in the rest of us.
I will say, like, extra shout out for Jenny. She is actually the one that founded the nonprofit that is putting on this event. So that's amazing that she's doing that.
God. So. And she wrote us like not a forum email. Like we get a lot of emails where it's like
forum emails where it's usually from like publishing companies that I'm like,
hello, insert creator name here.
And I'm not throwing shade on anyone, but like I've gotten literally the same email, and all that's changed is the author name and the name of the book.
Which publishing promotion, I get it, and we're just honestly we're still so
happy
small
to be on the list.
We're just thankful to be.
But
included.
It was extra special.
It was very
like,
special.
Be like, oh my gosh, this legit real historian listens to our podcast.
Well, she listened to an episode, and even after that was like, I'm going to email these ladies.
I know. Like, exactly. She wasn't like, man, they fucked up World War II history. Like, nah. She was like, I want them to come to this.
In our defense, we did not touch World War II in that episode. So
no, it was...
I did
it was
Major Megan McClung.
I was gonna say it was our
and you did the lady who
Memorial
shot,
Day episode.
Yeah, you did the lady who shot all the not revolutionary soldiers.
Stepped up.
Yes, that's it. She
The
shot
British.
the redcoats. The red.
She shot the British.
I'm like, it's an
it
R.
was a long time
it's
ago.
an R word.
Well, that was also the episode that I talked about, like, oh God, what were they called? I could pull up my notes, but I don't want to.
Camp followers.
No, I talked about like that the British were referred to as like there was a subset.
Oh,
of
the Whigs.
The Whigs,
The
and then
Whigs.
it's like they become a political party later, but those are different ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually I'm working on a story right now, and it got a little
you told me
confusing with
about
the
that,
politics.
yep.
The Whigs come back up, and I'm just like, but they're
But
not
the
like
other ones,
they're-
not the British supporter Whigs.
they're different Whigs.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
exactly.
Whigs.
Okay, let's jump into the women.
Yeah. So Kelly, who the fuck are you whining about today?
I'm whining about Agnodice. Don't worry, this is not like Attain weird. If anyone went and listened to the Attain episode, we have not covered this woman. We have not covered anyone starting with AG.
I've heard of this woman though. Is there like a play or like a Greek tragedy?
She is literally in one history book.
Okay. I'm really curious because the name.
I think you've covered someone else that's like an obstetrics, and she's known in like that field. So
Okay.
maybe it was mentioned.
All right.
I have a wine burp already. So yeah, Agnodice.
All right. I love this.
I do have a subtitle for you.
Okay, hold on. Let me write it down. Yes.
Subtitle is The Mulan of Obstetrics or Gynecology, but I'm pretty sure it's like babies is specifically obstetrics, not gynecology. But
I love this.
I know I don't often have subtitles for you.
It makes it a lot easier. I think the last episode, you didn't have a subtitle. I was like,
sometimes
well,
I say stuff like in my notes that like you're like I'll just use that, but
Yep.
like yeah, sometimes I don't. Okay, so yes, Agnodice. I assume that's how it's pronounced.
Hey, if she wants to come here and correct us, we are more than open
Right.
to that conversation.
I pronounce it probably more maybe like Greek, but it's Roman. It's close enough.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like I remember reading myths when I was a kid, and I said Persephone for the longest time because that's
Yep.
how it looks.
yep.
I know the word phone doesn't make sense with how it's spelled and how it
technically,
sounds.
this is from Latin, which is a dead language.
Yes.
So,
But I remember like then in 7th grade English lit, we were learning about
Persephone.
the Greekness, and she kept saying Persephone. I'm like, I don't think that's how you say it. I don't think that's right. Like, I realized I am the only fucking person on the planet that ever said Persephone.
it's super funny because if you like look it up, so it says Agnodice and then it says Greek and it has the Greek spelling, which is, I don't know how to read that. And then it says pronounced and it's literally just a bunch of letters shoved together.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, Agnodice, that's what I'm going with.
When the pronunciation guide is more confusing than the name, you have fucked up.
Yeah, it says pronounced. Hanj without a dot on top.
No.
Nodik and then the weird E. And I'm like, I don't know how to read that.
Stop all of that. Shut all of that down right now.
I don't have like a birth date or anything like that because as I mentioned to Emily, the original story is literally from one ancient source. That's it. We got one guy telling this story.
All right.
It's called The Fabulae, which I love.
The Fabulae.
Exactly.
Fabu girl.
So it is a Latin handbook of mythology attributed to a Roman author named Gaius Julius Hyginus.
Okay, they're just making this shit up now.
I mean, Gaius
Julius Hyginus.
Hyginus.
Are you
Again,
fucking
might not be
kidding?
pronounced that way, but that's how I pronounce it. It's Hyginus.
If you're ever wondering if someone gave you a fake name, this is how you know.
Except like we know the author was real. So, by the way, I refer to him as Hyginus the entire time.
Hyginus. Well, it sounds more real than Gaius. So anyway, this Gaius over here.
I guess like the reason I think of Gaius as a real name, well, I guess not as a real name, but like in one of the games I play, which is Final Fantasy 14, there's a Gaius there's a guy named Gaius. His name is Gaius van Balthasar or something.
Jesus Christ.
So it is a name. But anyways, yeah, exactly. I was like, if I continue saying Gaius, I'm like, my brain is gonna get
You're
scrambled.
never gonna recover. Hey,
so,
Gaiuses.
In this
or is
book,
it Gaius I
think it's just Gaius.
No, but I mean, if there's multiple guys.
Gaiuses. So Hyginus, basically in this, it's a handbook. They call it a handbook. So it's because like there are stories, but there's also like a list of inventions about different things. And in the section about medical inventions, you'll find Agna Dicey's story. And it is the longest story in this section, which is cool. And it is one of only 2 featuring a female inventor in the entire book. The other being the goddess Demeter, who he credited with discovering grain. And I'm like, I don't think she discovered it. If you go back in mythology, I'm pretty sure it said she invented it, but sure.
I was going to say she was the goddess of grain.
I know. I'm like, sure, we can say she discovered
but
it.
I don't think that we can credit a mythological, not even like a person that someone made up, a mythological super being.
God, exactly.
Yeah,
but no,
god.
she just discovered it.
Yes. All right. Choices.
And Agna Dicey's story is one of the few in this entire book that's about a mortal rather than like a god or a child of the god. So Agna Dicey is not a supreme being of any variety. She is a regular person.
So already much more well-rooted in reality.
Exactly.
Like we said, you can't say the goddess Demeter invented grain. I get it.
Demeter was a badass. Stop minimizing her shit.
I get that is the mythology. I get that's the origin story. But in a practical history, we can say people believe that.
Exactly. I just think it's funny. She discovered it. I'm like,
She just found it while she was walking around one day. It was just growing out of the ground. Like, where the fuck does this shit come from? Maybe I grind it up and I make some fucking bread. Who knows? I love my carbs. She is.
So... But we're not talking about her. We're talking about Agna Dicey. Like I could do a deep dive on the Greek pantheon, mostly from memory, and it would be really interesting. But we're not talking about that.
Patreon, a content idea. We get you really, really, really fucking drunk. You pull a god's name out of a bowl, and then you just fucking go off. Okay. No script, no nets.
Actually, it would have to be like Titans. And then like 1st and 2nd generation Olympians. I don't think I could go beyond that.
Well, and that's fine. We'll give you people that you've actually like heard of.
You could probably throw in some Roman gods to throw me off because they're modeled off the Greek gods.
Okay, seriously, if we get 5 new patrons by October 1st, we're doing this. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month, and I promise this is going to happen.
Emily's like, I will make sure it happens.
I'm going to make sure it happens. Okay, go on.
Okay, so Agna Dicey, ancient Athenian, so she lives in Athens. Literally, like, there are no birth dates in this book. It's just like, this is what she did. But what we know is supposedly at the time, this was the time in Athens where women were forbidden from studying medicine. So in order to learn medicine, she disguised herself as a man. She cut her hair off, stole some men's clothes, a la Mulan. This is why the Mulan of stuff comes in. And she snuck in and studied under a man named Herophilus. Again, they can actually prove that this person was real. And I get into this later about why some people don't think she might have existed based on the fact that he says she studied under Herophilus in Alexandria, which is in Egypt. So, the Great Library, pre it burning down.
Yep.
She was able to keep up her disguise and train as a physician. Not only that, actually, as she moved forward into practicing medicine, she had to keep up this disguise because it was illegal to practice medicine as a woman. So as she began her medical practice in Athens, she would focus on assisting women, but particularly like women who were pregnant or having babies, because a lot of times they didn't want to go to men, or they would be shamed, or just like the various things, like men wouldn't understand. And there was actually like a really high infant mortality and mother mortality rate at the time, because women either didn't want to go to doctors or would become so stressed even when seeing a doctor that there was a lot of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, the Mulan of gynecology or obstetrics.
Well, and I mean, there is so much history that goes into midwives. Like, it is one of the oldest professions, and it's historically been dominated by women because, like,
women know women.
Well, and like, not that you have to be pregnant to be able to be a doctor of obstetrics.
No, not at all.
But like, women understand what it's like to be pregnant, especially these midwives who had been pregnant. They know the signs, they know the feelings.
Traditionally, a lot of midwives were older women because of that, because they're like, oh, I've had multiple children. I kind of know what to look. Exactly. I know what to look for.
Well, and this is what happens when the patriarchy goes, ew, women's body's bad. Yeah. Ew, women's body's dirty.
Or
it's like men don't want
you have a period, like, don't be around me.
And this is ancient Greece, correct?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so I'm reading a book right now about a famous / infamous abortionist in New York in like the 1800s. And when men started trying to take over obstetrics, there was a huge smear campaign for midwives because women did not want to go to male doctors because you could literally buy a degree to be a doctor. Yeah. You didn't have to show up to class. You didn't have to touch a single fucking person.
Was that the smear campaign that like midwives were committing abortions?
Well, midwives were committing abortions, but that's one of the ways that they smeared them because they were like, abortions are so bad. Abortions are so bad, and that's why midwives are bad, and you should come to a male doctor.
That happened even in ancient times.
But the book was talking about how male doctors, when treating a pregnant woman, would like just look at them and be like, yep, you're fat. I don't know.
Or you probably got a baby in there. You're pregnant. Come back when you're having the baby.
Yeah. It was just like, because they were so embarrassed. They're like, I've literally never seen a woman before.
Yeah, because they didn't have like the same kind of training. Yeah. That they do now.
They also didn't understand the importance of hand washing, so they're just like they're like doing autopsies and they're just shoving their hands inside people.
And
it was bad.
Yeah. So in one case, Agnes was actually attempting to help a woman like in active labor, and this woman was like, no, like, I don't want you helping me, because they thought she was a man. And they were like, no, like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, it was a mix of like, you're not a woman, so I don't want your help, but also like that shame of like, you're not my husband, I don't want you like seeing my body. Like, 'cause there was that back then too. Yeah. And so Agnes was like, no, I am a woman, like, let me prove it to you, and then was able to treat her. So because of that, like, one, word spreads woman to woman, but also Agnes was a lot gentler and more compassionate and more empathetic.
When the bar is so low.
Like that, she started getting more and more female clients. And of course, because she was getting more and more female clients, the male doctors were like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. And so they accused Agnes, because they were jealous, of seducing her patients, because they think she's a man. So, they were like, obviously, like, you're seducing them, and that's why they want to come to you. But they also not only accused her, but accused her patients of like, well, you're just faking illnesses. Yeah. To make you look like a better doctor. Clearly you're in cahoots.
I love
I'm sure they didn't say cahoots in ancient Athens, but
I love the idea that, well, they probably said cahootus.
Cahootus.
Because, we got Gaius, we got cahootus, we got Philippus, we got Hyginus. But, I think it's so crazy, this idea that patients were so like into a medical practitioner that they were like, I'm going to fake being sick.
To make you look better.
To make this person look great. No one cares that much.
So insane. Yeah, exactly. Like,
one person might care that much, and they're
the
psycho.
Salt of these men.
Yes.
So like, it got to be such a big deal that she actually like went on trial for like essentially like the Athenians' version of medical malpractice.
For stooping the patients, which is bad.
Exactly. Like, don't do that.
She's not doing that though.
So she went on trial before the Areopagus, which was like the jury back then, essentially. Like, I think they were like judge and jury, but it was like a group of people. And so like people were coming forward. These male doctors were like, well, why would she get, more female patients than us? She must be doing something wrong. And she did something that was better than a mic drop. She dropped it all. That's right. Like she did what we've seen in other stories where she proved she was a woman by taking her clothes off and being like, do I look like a man?
I also love that a woman can't just be like good at her job. It has to be something sexual, even when they think the woman is a guy.
Right. It's not that you're a better doctor. No. Yeah. Their egos can't handle that, Emily. It's not that you're a better doctor than me. Yeah. It's that like you're good with your penis. So they want to see you for medical reasons.
And then you drop in its tits and they're like, well, maybe you're good with your tits.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I feel like my argument still stands.
No, because women, if a penis is not involved, there is no sex. Although, actually, right. I do think like ancient Greece was more open to like woman-on-woman romance than a lot of other ancient societies.
They were definitely open to dude on dude.
Oh, yeah. Like there was...
Ancient Greece, it's so...
Like, honestly, like, I haven't thought about it before now, but, like, when people ask me where I would like to visit in the past, I honestly think ancient Greece would be interesting because there is so many things that it's like, okay, was it, like, a homoerotic thing? Or did they just not, like, understand that?
I think it's super funny that, like, neo-Nazis and white supremacists who are, of course, incredibly homophobic have tried to reappropriate Roman
or like
culture
Sparta and stuff. Yeah, and it's like, they like oiled each other up completely naked, right?
I'm like, guys, show me a gayer ancient civilization.
I honestly wonder, like, ancient Greece and ancient like Sparta and stuff. I'm like, was everyone just like pan and like no one gave a shit?
Well, and I think also it's this idea, it's like today, could we say we're like yay queer culture? Yeah. Well, it really depends on where you are. We contain multitudes as individuals, as a society, as a country, as a world.
And we always have.
There is plenty of proof that ancient Greece and ancient Rome was super like dude on dude heavy. Okay.
Which, like, you think there probably was more woman on woman stuff too, because the dudes were always gone all the time. Like, literally from, like, being, at least in Sparta, from, like, age 9 on, they were, like, sequestered from the women.
Yeah.
So, anyways. So, you'd think, like, her, like, stripping would at least, like, clear things up and be like, well, clearly you're not sleeping with your patients. Like, so you're right and you're wrong. This actually just kind of pissed them off even more because then, of course, they're like... You're a woman. You're not allowed to do that. Like, how dare you not follow the rules we set for you and all that bullshit. She also, she kind of shoved in their face like women can be competent doctors and actually be better than them, which probably also pissed them off.
It probably actually pissed them off less to think that a dude was just stooping their patients than a woman was actually just providing better care for people. Well, I think
half of it was more like the shame of it, of like, oh God. So in probably the least shocking turn of events in this story so far, the men were like, you defied our rules, you should be executed.
God.
That's what like the male doctors that had come against her. That's not like what the court said. That's like what the male doctors said. Luckily, however, she was defended by the woman that she had been helping, which included the wives of several prominent Athenians who she had treated and helped to birth healthy children.
Fuck yes.
Supposedly her like infant and mother mortality rate was like almost zero. Like some sources said 0 and I'm like, I don't think there's any way to like 100% know that. Plus like it's ancient Athens, like shit happens. But like she had a better record than anyone else. And so the women stormed the courtroom shouting that they're not going to let the city kill the only doctor that actually gave a shit about them.
For sakes.
Basically, this is like the ancient Greek version of a protest march for women's rights.
I love this.
And because we know who really holds all the power in most relationships, Agnes was spared. And actually, like, this kind of slowly opened the eyes of the lawmakers, and the laws were actually changed within a few years to allow women to study medicine, kind of particularly like in that very sexist way of like, you can study medicine, but like you can treat other women. But like that's still a step forward.
It's a step.
Which really does make Agna Dicey not only a pioneer in like gynecology and obstetrics, because she did see women who weren't pregnant as well, but also the first woman to successfully unionize a uterus-powered protest.
Uterus-powered protest. I do love that.
Right?
I do love that.
So Higinus, the guy who wrote Agna Dicey's story, describes her as an obstetrix with an X.
Oh, that's hot.
Yep. So
that's
it is difficult.
Super hot.
It's difficult to know how to translate this into English. One, because Latin is a dead language, but two, because there is no like direct translation. Sarah Pomeroy, who like does a lot of the study of like ancient Latin and Greek, has rendered it as obstetrician, arguing that, but her argument is that midwives existed in Athens before Agna Dicey's day, but maybe what really like sets her apart is that she actually had like a formal education. She went to school. However, another scholar named Helen King notes that like this was ancient Athens. There's really no like formal licensing system. And like there really was no division between like a midwife and an obstetrician, you know, because like there isn't that like system in place yet. There's a lot of debate whether or not she was a real historical figure. Most people kind of doubt it. One of the big doubts is like, because there are no dates and stuff, it's hard to kind of place where she may have fallen in history. Like I said, the Higinus claims that she was taught by a certain Hierophilus, which most people think it's Hierophilus of Chalcedon, who is actually someone that's like an ancient physician known for his like gynecology and stuff like that. He's credited with the discovery of ovaries. Like legitimately, he was the one that was like, oh, women have these like things that hold egg. Yeah, I didn't go too far into it, but I was like, I guess someone had to discover them at some point, but like it's weird to think about.
It's weird to think that someone discovered something that existed the whole time in your own fucking body.
Exactly. So yeah, like they're basically, there's a debate like, could he have been the Hierophilus in her story? Like, because literally he just says like a certain Hierophilus, and it's like, well, maybe it's not him, but people are like, who else would she have worked with? Like, that's what he's known for. And so they're kind of like, he's the most appropriate teacher, like if that's what she got into. So people who do believe it, so like that's the argument for like the side of like, and the people who do believe it are like, well, there's two different reasons why the story might talk about like there's no midwives in Athens. One is like maybe she started the trend and like midwives came after her and she taught like the generations. Alternatively, most people are like, well, maybe there were midwives like before her, but the law forbid them from practicing, so you don't hear about them or they're not widespread.
Right. She was caught out because she was, masquerading as a man and pissing off male doctors.
Yep. And that's what, like, so most people that are like, yeah, maybe Agna Dicey was a real person kind of side with that second theory of, yeah, like, it's probably that there were midwives, but they either practiced in secret or once the law went into place, they kind of went away. And yeah, it's proposed that a lot, like, women were forbidden from practicing medicine because they were accused of performing abortions or like helping women get rid of kids and stuff like that. And that was a big no-no back then. Regardless of whether she was real or not, her story has literally been invoked as far back as the 16th century to provide precedents for having gender options within the medical practice. So it's like, whether or not she's real, she's been used as an example of like, this is why women should be allowed to practice medicine because they've done it before.
Well, the other thing is, anyone who goes through the schooling and the training should be able to practice medicine. Does that make you a good doctor? No, we've all encountered bad doctors.
Exactly. Gender doesn't matter.
Their gender or sex had no play in that equation. Like, no one is better or worse at being a doctor because of their sex.
Right. Yeah. So she was used as an example of why women might prefer women during the peak of men midwifery in the 18th century. A woman named Elizabeth Cellier in the 17th century, who was known as the Popish midwife, which I'm like, I might have to look at her because I'm curious about that, positioned herself as the modern Agna Dicey. So like the story is well enough known. And although she appears in the list of like who discovered or invented, you know, like a lot of times it doesn't necessarily matter like if she discovered or invented it, but people use her as a example. And I think that's really the important thing, is that like sometimes, especially like in olden times, women didn't want men to check out their bodies, whether it's because the men were too embarrassed to give them proper care or whether the woman was too embarrassed to ask for things.
Well, and that's what a culture of shame and secrecy around women's bodies creates, because at that point, even say you have a male doctor and he's like, I totally respect you and your body, and I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to like get grossed out or freaked out or anything. The woman's going to feel uncomfortable because for her whole life she's heard a man other than your husband should never see you naked.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a no-no, you know, and
exactly.
It feels like counterintuitive to how you're socialized. So, you know, at that point, it's not even just the doctors being inappropriate. It's okay, but you have created this culture where women do not feel comfortable being, you know, vulnerable and exposed in front of men.
Exactly. Like
even in a medical situation,
it goes both ways.
Exactly.
Like the men were embarrassed and the women were embarrassed, and that's not helping anyone.
It kind of reminds me of when you covered was it Edith Graham Mayo, and she was teaching the nuns from St. Francis.
Like the very like they were like, well, I can't help like dress a man if he's naked, and she's like, just fucking do it.
Yeah. This one nun got super freaked out because she's like, I can't help treat this man because he has to be naked for it, and that's improper. And Edith Graham Mayo is basically like, you know, it's really improper, letting people fucking die because you're embarrassed.
Exactly, and that's exactly it. So I will give a tiny credit to Hyginus, because when he authored this fable, because remember, like, the story of Agna Dicey is also very old. Mm-hmm. He wrote a story of a woman who performed as a man in order to practice medicine. And this is probably one of the earliest depictions of someone, what they call like a gender performance, where it's like she did not identify as a man. Like this wasn't, to the best of our knowledge, a case of like early transgender before they knew what that word was. Like this was truly like she just wanted to be in medicine and this is how she got it done. So like credit to him for like writing a story that had this, but also like it recognizes that Agna Dicey didn't, like, while she had to like change her characteristics, meaning like she cut her hair short and wore baggier clothing, like her being a woman did not stop her from gaining that knowledge. All that did was the fact that she looked like a woman, and Hyginus like highlighted that, like that. Yeah, it didn't detract from her being able to learn or being able to practice. It was just this law that said that women couldn't. So like, I will give Hyginus a tiny bit of credit.
I think that's so interesting to point out, because one of the biggest arguments that's reused to subjugate women, people of color, people of a certain religion, you know, ethnic background, anything, is that they are biologically inferior.
Right.
They are biologically incapable, or to gain knowledge to go to school would be biologically harmful.
Yeah, and
like,
Hyginus was just like, no, it's fine. You just look like a woman.
And because it's so easy to hide behind this, like, hey, I'm not sexist, I'm not racist. That's just science. And we see that all the fucking time. So and it's bullshit. It has always been bullshit.
It's crazy that in ancient Greece, a guy could recognize, like, no, there is no difference other than she looks like a woman
or a man.
Or no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, she looks like a woman, so you're not letting her practice medicine. But there is no, like, he's writing the story as like there is no inherent difference.
Yes, exactly. It's like,
and actually,
her
like,
looking
her
like a
being
dude.
A woman made her a better doctor for women.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Oh my God. Empathy. Like, the thing they're trying today to get us to all abandon, to see as a weakness, is actually a hugely powerful tool.
And at least one Greek dude understood it.
Gaius.
Guys, maybe you're okay.
Up top.
This is also a very good example of empowered women empowering women because, they heard about, this doctor who understands and listens to us is on trial and we need to help her, I found the story of Agnes Dicey. It started very much as I heard she's kind of this, known as this figure that of gynecology or obstetrics and kind of helped, if not a real person, but as an example of look, women can maybe help women more than men in some cases.
I think it's interesting, the power of stories. So people who say they don't like history, I'm like, do you like gossip? Do you like a good story? Have you ever watched a movie or read a book? I think it's you like history.
You haven't found the medium that speaks to you of history because you find it. You do enjoy it.
Right. Because it's powerful and it's storytelling. And what I think is interesting is whether or not Agnes Dicey actually existed.
Doesn't matter.
Her story is being treated as if she did, and therefore setting this example.
Yeah.
That's
where it's matters.
Women in the 1800s are being well, Agnes Dicey fucking did it, so why can't I?
Exactly. And whether people are using her as an example, and that's all that matters.
And whether they're using that as an example in an argument against people who don't want women to be doctors, or even just as a personal motivator. Right. These stories are so powerful and so important. And that is why they are literally being erased, a la Major Megan McClung, who I just want to remind everyone was taken off of the Arlington Cemetery's Instagram page because of President Trump's executive order.
Right. And the fear of it.
Yes.
It's bullshit.
Because we can't, it's really hard to advocate against women in the military when a woman in a recent conflict, that was 2004? Oh, yeah. Early on. Here's the thing.
Women have always been involved in everything, whether you know about it or not. Mm-hmm. Women have always been there doing shit.
Yep.
That's it. That literally, that is the full story, that women have always been there doing shit. Period. End of sentence.
I really need to cover some other women that were taken off of the Arlington Cemetery page.
That's why I covered Vera Rubin, because it's literally an observatory named after her, and they're but we're gonna downplay all of the feminist and women's rights stuff she did. And it's no.
These stories are important, and that's why they don't want you to know about them.
Exactly. And that's why we're going to tell you about them.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that was Agnes Dicey and her amazingness.
Also, I figured out why she was so familiar.
Yeah.
I covered her in episode 66.
She's not on the list.
She's on your list.
She is not on the list.
I did a Control F.
But I did a Control F. Well, whatever.
You covered Andre Burrell, who that story was very sad.
I have a second one, but we're doing 2 episodes.
Here's the thing.
Fucking bad.
That's why I didn't say it earlier, because I knew you were going to back out of it. And I'm no, I'm not. I'm not doing this. I'm
also I'm embarrassed. I can literally feel my cheeks heating right now. But I also I think I'm embarrassed because I'm the only one that has done that. And it makes me feel awful because I'm also the one that created the list.
Here's the thing. And I didn't bring that up to try and shame you or make you feel bad. I think, first of all, you talked a lot about stuff that I don't think I covered.
I'm so mad because
also her story is so important.
Looked at it.
It's so important though. It's so important, Kelly.
Fine.
We need to know this. I'm reading this book, Madame Restell. It's all about women and midwives and abortions in 1800s New York. And I was oh my God, this is hitting every button that's activated in my brain right now. And we need to know these stories, because it just keeps pointing out that sexism and racism and all the isms are rooted in absolute nonsense. And women have always been providing health care. Women have always sought healthcare, and we're going to keep fucking doing it. Now, if you're cool with a bunch of women dying, which quite frankly, the pro-life movement is very oddly comfortable with based on their name.
Yeah, right.
Then great. All right. You've achieved your goal. You're killing people. You are killing people.
Yeah.
People are dying because of you. Congratulations. Also, how many of you voted against free school lunches for school kids?
All right. I'm embarrassed enough as it is.
Don't be embarrassed.
Let's move on.
This story is more relevant than when I told it. And I obviously didn't remember like any of it until you got to the part where she flashed her tits. I'm like, this is okay.
Although I will say we've covered several, like that was one of the arguments I didn't put in my article, that like some people are like, well, this appears a lot in ancient like Roman and Greek stuff. And I'm like, that doesn't mean they didn't do it.
Also, if we're going to have whole like curriculums dedicated to the Greek and Roman gods, who I can confidently say, okay, like mostly confidently, because I really don't want Goose to come and like down on my ass as a goose or something.
Did you just say goose to come down on my ass? I'm pretty sure you meant Zeus.
I meant Zeus as a goose. It's very confusing. But like that weren't real. We dedicate more time to learning about ancient gods from a dead civilization than we do about women who actually existed. And here's the thing, I love,
it's so fucked
y'all.
up,
I love Greek mythology. That was like my love language for a while.
That's what got me into history.
Yeah, I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying our priorities. Maybe we re-examine some things. So
we're willing to help.
We're willing to help. If you want to better incorporate women into your history lessons,
listen to Whining About Herstory.
Well, listen to Whining About Herstory. Also, go to remedialherstory.org
to try to get more women
because they have
history into school.
They have quite literally free resources that you can incorporate into your lesson plan tomorrow, beginning of the school year. Shameless plug. Do it. Do it. Fucking do it.
School started this last week, but we're gonna bypass that.
It's
Emily,
still the beginning of the school year.
Who are you whining about?
Okay.
Because I want my dinner and I know it's done.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So remember how I was going on about Jaws?
Yeah.
And how I love Jaws.
Are you covering a woman from Jaws or that helped with Jaws in some way?
No, but it got me in the shark mood. Okay. So I Googled women's history shark.
I mean, there's been a lot of women that have been like in shark attacks and stuff. So
that's not what I'm covering.
Oh, okay. Are you covering like a marine biologist?
That's actually a really good idea to cover a survivor of a shark attack. That's a badass story.
Unfortunately, most of them are probably still alive, so you might not.
Well, that freaks me out.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. We both have this weird like inability to cover. Literally, there are women that I'm like, you're so badass, and you're still alive. Can't do it.
So today I am whining about Jeannie Clark, also known as the Shark Lady.
Okay, I like that. I'm down.
A large bull shark swims along the ocean's sandy bottom. Remoras cling to its face, picking off parasites in a beautiful symbiotic relationship. It's not an unusual sight. What is unusual is the woman in a wetsuit, fins, and wearing a scuba tank swimming just behind the shark's dorsal fin. This is the last place most of us would want to be, especially with a bull shark, because they nasty.
They're highly aggressive.
They nasty.
Yeah.
They're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're highly aggressive.
If of the top three like dangerous sharks in the ocean, which is great white, tiger, and bull. Bull is the one who is just gonna
because they're the most like unpredictable. They kind of just like
they're unpredictable and they keep coming back. They're very tenacious. Like a great white shark, what they're gonna do is they're gonna bite you.
And they're gonna swim away.
They're gonna swim away because they're waiting for you to bleed out, or they've realized, ew, you're gross.
Yeah, you're not what I thought you were.
You taste like avocados, you nasty ass millennial, and you can get to shore and hopefully get treatment. Bull sharks will just fuck you to fuck you. So
they're like the dolphins of the shark pool. Dolphins are assholes.
Dolphins are assholes and they're incredibly horny. Okay, so especially with a bull shark, this is like not what you want to be all up in. But this was what ichthyologist Eugenie Jeannie Clark lived for. An ichthyologist is someone who studies fish.
Shark are fish. Some people don't think they are, but they are.
I know. That was a whole thing in Jaws 3 where...
Really?
Yeah.
That's super funny.
The lead marine biologist is dating the oldest Brody son from, the first two movies.
Oh, yeah.
And she's training dolphins. And he's like, do you love those fish more than me? And she's like, well, actually, they're mammals. And I'm like, dump him. But he's like, he's cute. So it's fine. Anyway,
well, dolphins are mammals.
That's why I'm saying.
Oh.
He called them fish. She's like, actually they're mammals. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, he's trash, dump him.
I thought you were saying like that she was saying like,
no,
sharks are mammals. And I'm like, sharks are not mammals. No. Sharks are fish.
Yes. If you just watch Jaws 3 with me, all this would make sense.
You didn't ask me. This is not my fault.
This is going to happen. I'm going to make Kelly watch Jaws 3. Okay.
We'll watch it when super drunk.
Yes. So Eugenie Clark, better known as Jeannie to her friends and family, was born on May 4th, may the 4th be with you, 1922 in New York City.
New York.
I'm
walking here. She's walking here.
Made up. She was the only daughter of Charles Clark and Yumiko Motomi. Unfortunately, Charles died when Jeannie was like nearly 2 years old. Yeah, just super fucking sad.
Poor Charles.
Her mother remarried. Yeah, her mother remarried a Japanese restaurateur, Masamoto Nobu. So Jeannie is half white, half Japanese.
Yeah, I was to say her mom sounds.
Her mother was Japanese.
Okay.
So early on, and the only reason I mention that is because representation is important.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So early on, Jeannie was fascinated with marine life, writing reports on marine biology and science for school whenever she could, which I'm like...
That's adorable.
That reminds me, I did a whole report on the Hindenburg disaster. Here's the thing. I did the report.
Marine biology... Horrible accident involving helium.
I did the Hindenburg disaster. I did Pompeii. There were a bunch of like reports that I wrote on the computer as a kid. And then I went to my teacher and asked if I could submit them for extra credits.
Oh,
I did the work.
So you wrote them not even with an assignment.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
You're insane and I love you.
Because Word back in the 90s was a magical thing.
There was Clippy. Come on.
You could put pictures in your report. It was amazing. I also always switched Clippy to the cat.
Did your teacher let you submit them?
She did. I think I did one on Anne Frank too, because I had just learned about her and it was my hyperfixation.
Did you try to do one on oh my God, my brain literally just forgot.
I did not do one on Lizzie Borden.
Thank you. I was like, Emily's going to catch on.
Actually, I was going to in 7th grade because we had to read books about a historical figure and then team up with someone else in class and pretend to be that historical figure interviewing each other. And
yeah, that would terrify a lot of people.
I was going to do Lizzie Borden, but the more I read, the more like psyched out I got. Like I was like, oh, maybe I do have anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I was like having nightmares and it was really bad. So I switched it at the last minute to Oscar Schindler and my friend Melissa.
I don't know if that's necessarily better, but sure.
He was not a murderer.
That's true.
He was kind of anti. So
he had his own problems.
So my friend Melissa, R.I.P., she was Jackie O, and Oscar Schindler, I read, he was kind of a womanizer. So the whole time I'm like dressed as a dude sitting across from my friend, and I'm just like, hey, Jackie, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's up? I'm over here saving Jews, and you looking fine. It was really bad.
That's so funny. We're so far off.
It was
topic.
So inappropriate. But like that's the shit I did as a kid, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Exactly. Like follow your. I think what the moral of that story was. Follow your passions, people.
It's really generous of you calling it a moral instead of just a point.
Moral. It's the moral.
Also,
we're basically a bottle in at this point. It's the moral of the story.
Well, also, way to go for my teachers who, like, I brought them something that I was really interested in. And they were like,
sure, extra credit.
Yeah, fucking go
That's
off,
awesome.
sis.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they gave me extra credit, but they just let me present
Which
about what I was fixated on
though.
at that time.
Like, so many times you hear about, teachers being like, meh. And so it's like, it's nice to hear that at least you had some teachers that weren't like that.
And this was at a fucking Catholic school.
Oh, that's even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Marine
Truly
biology.
shocking.
Yeah.
So this
I
is
don't
what
think mine would have let me do that.
this is the shit that Jeannie's doing, but with marine biology.
Okay.
This could have also her fascination also may have been influenced in part due to her Japanese heritage, because the emphasis on the importance of the ocean in Japanese culture is really prevalent. Because as an island nation, the ocean is life and death.
Oh yeah,
it's everything.
It's all of it.
That's why, like, the most famous Japanese painting is literally of a tsunami. And Kelly has a version of it where it's a bunch of pugs.
It's fantastic.
It is amazing. It's the best thing I've ever seen.
It's a great wave of pugs.
So when Jeannie was about 9, Yumiko started working at a newspaper stand on Saturday mornings. Now, age-old problem for women. What do you do about childcare? You have to make money to support your child, but what do you do with the fucking child while you are working to support that child? And
you let them come with you.
Well, I didn't look up, like, so even if she had remarried at this point, her husband's running a restaurant. He probably does not have time to watch, and like, it's a chaotic environment.
Yeah.
So Yumiko had to get creative, and she dropped Jeannie off at the nearby New York aquarium where she worked.
Okay.
Which reminds me,
why not?
My mom, when I was old enough, she would go to TJ Maxx, and in the same strip mall there was a Toys R Us, so she would drop me off at Toys R Us, and I would just wander around while my mom shopped at TJ Maxx.
Questionable, but okay.
Questionable,
No,
but I mean, it would have been really cool if it was an aquarium.
I had older siblings, so
yeah, I was an only child.
Although I'm pretty sure my older siblings just let me like wander down to the lake and shit. So, whatever.
Honestly, this is not a reflection of my mother's parenting.
No, not at all.
This is a reflection of how much of a fucking pain in the ass I was, where I was like, I don't want to go to TJ Maxx. Now I love that place. It's my church. That and Marshall's. So she's getting dropped off at the aquarium and basically like, go off, sis. Mama's got to work, which I'm like, can you imagine getting dropped off at like the Shed Aquarium because your mom has to work?
I would love that.
Oh my fucking God.
Or like, honestly, like even now as an adult, if you need someone to watch me, just drop me off at a zoo.
Yes.
And pick me up like 5 hours later and you're still going to have to drag me out of there.
I'm not going to have seen barely anything at that point.
I'll be sitting in front of the same exhibit you left me at probably.
So this became a weekly routine and Jeannie was fucking obsessed. I'm sorry. Some people might question this. This is good parenting. This is good parenting in a situation where you really don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
This is some good shit. So Jeannie convinced her mother to buy several large fish tanks, which she filled with fish, toads, snakes, and even a small alligator because it's New York. And I guess that's a thing there. You know, the old myth of like
alligators in the sewers.
Yeah. So she admired American naturalist William Beebe, which is great. It's Beebe, so it might be Beebe. I don't care. I'm saying Beebe.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not about him. And boldly declared that she wanted to go, quote, down in the bathysphere like he had.
Oh, yeah.
So Jeannie recalled that her family was very skeptical of her ambitions at best. Quote, they said, maybe you can take up typing and get to be a secretary to William Beebe or somebody like him. I said, I don't want to be anyone's secretary.
Fuck yes.
At a fucking girl, Jeannie. But again, I think that's just indicative of what was expected for women. And like, oh, no. If you want to be a professional, this is what you aim for, being a secretary. And if you're lucky, you're a secretary in an area that you have like an ancillary passion for.
Exactly.
So, going to school in New York in the 20s and 30s, Jeannie was often the only Japanese student at her whole school, not just her class, her whole fucking school. Anti-Asian sentiments were growing in the United States, especially on the West Coast. And then after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066 against the wishes of his wife, Eleanor, who fucking knew what was up the entire time.
Eleanor's a badass.
This is why we love her, which authorized the forced imprisonment of Americans of Japanese descent and the seizure of their property and assets. This is, and not that this would be better.
No.
These are not Japanese immigrants. These are American fucking citizens who were born and raised in the country. It is a very slippery slope. And for some reason, it feels very important to highlight this right now.
It shouldn't, but it does.
We've learned nothing. Fortunately,
we never learn anything, unfortunately.
So fortunately for Jeannie and her family living on the East Coast protected them from being in prison, because this was very a largely West Coast thing. That didn't protect them from the growing anti-Japanese sentiments, which spread across the nation. Jeannie was in college at the time, and I can only imagine how frightening it must have been having the president of your own country, where you were born and raised, rounding up people just like you and imprisoning them for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It also meant that a whole half of the country was a no-go zone, basically, for her and her family.
Yeah.
So this was
Can't
not
even imagine.
This did not come up a lot when I was reading about her, but I couldn't help but just draw the parallel. Like, she lived through that.
Yeah.
That was something that she went through and endured. And yes, she was not in a Japanese internment camp. Mm-hmm. That's still got to be a fucking horrifying time to be in.
Like I said, I can't imagine.
Yeah. So Jeannie pursued zoology at Hunter College, receiving her Bachelor of Arts in 1942. And like the marine bio nerd she undeniably was, Jeannie spent her summer studying at the University of Michigan Biological Station before pursuing her master's degree.
Yeah.
That sounds so much fun. Lake Michigan is a fucking trip.
Hell yeah.
I got, actually, speaking of aquariums.
All of the Great Lakes are amazing.
Speaking of aquariums, at the Shedd Aquarium, I got to pet sturgeon.
Hell
and they had a whole exhibit about freshwater fish. I was like, this feels very Minnesotan. And Kurt's like, sorry, I will edit this. An egg is like
108.
An egg is like, well, yeah, the Great Lake is right there. You can literally see it from the aquarium. I'm like, oh yeah. It just feels, it just feels really
so far away.
Yeah. So originally, Jeannie applied to study at Columbia. I've heard of that school, which means it's a pretty big fucking deal. But she was rejected. Now.
Because she's a woman?
Okay. Kelly, I know what you're thinking.
I literally already said it.
Columbia is that's why I know what you're thinking. Columbia is a prestigious university, and even super smarties don't get in for a million weird reasons. It wasn't inherently sexism, right?
It's always inherently sexism, Emily.
It was!
Okay. I was correct.
Yeah. She was actually rejected because the school thought that she would eventually leave science to follow her natural female predilection for raising children. So what was the point in educating her? And this was not an implication. This was not an assumption. Quite literally, she was told by a scientist at Columbia, quote, if you do finish, you will probably get married, have a bunch of kids, and never do anything in science after we have invested our time and money in you. You are a waste of time because you might reproduce.
Have kids. Yeah.
Which again, everyone's like, women have babies, but God damn it! Stop moving the target.
Yeah.
So, just in case there was any question as to whether or not it was just was it actual sexism or just
it was actual sexism?
No, quite literally, it was plainly stated.
That's
so
bullshit.
Jeannie did not stop just because she did not get into Columbia because she had baby bits. All right. She studied at the New York University, where she earned her master's and doctorate in zoology in 1950.
Fuck yeah for schools letting women in when other schools didn't.
Right? Good God. Also, I think this is a great, even if you get rejected for non-sexism reasons, there's always another school, y'all.
Yeah.
Someone's going to take you. There's no one who doesn't get in anywhere. Okay? Right. There's always Arizona University. Or Phoenix or whatever those online ones are. So graduate school afforded Jeannie experience at research facilities in Massachusetts, California, and the Bahamas, which like all very different ocean biomes, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
As a multiracial woman studying in a male-dominated field, Jeannie faced unnecessary obstacles throughout her education, including feeling like she had to work harder to prove that she belonged. She recalled, quote, "We had to work extra hard, especially on field trips, to prove that we could keep up with the males." And she's referring to her and any other women that she's working with. Which I'm like, thank God that's not an issue that any woman deals with anymore. Kelly's looking around like, yeah, no, thank God. Yeah. Gestures to everything.
Exactly. Like, never,
Yeah. So in addition to proving her capabilities as a scientist, Jeannie had to downplay the fact that she was in fact a woman.
Actually, I was like, smart.
Oh, sorry. Well, that she's a lady. So being too feminine or friendly with her colleagues could have been
problem.
Dangerous. As she said, quote, "I somehow sensed that it was not wise to ever play up my role as a female or to encourage flirtations." Basically, she's like, I can't be too nice to guys because they're going to think I'm hitting on them.
Or they're going to take advantage.
Or they're going to take advantage, or they're going to do something awful and it's going to be my fault. Because not that it's actually her fault.
No, but
they're going to say it's my fault because I was flirting.
Because I encouraged it. Exactly.
Yeah, because women can't just be nice to people without it being sexual, apparently. So despite her efforts, Jeannie and other women that she worked with were excluded from certain activities and research field trips based on their sex.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Like, they can't handle it. It's like, okay, what test did you put everyone through to make sure that they could go on this strenuous research field trip? Nothing. Okay, so how do you know the dudes can handle it? Just because they're dudes? Because they have penises?
Right.
Have you seen those things? They're very sensitive. You just do a little tap and that dude is down.
Yeah.
Come on. Nevertheless, she persisted. In 1949, Jeannie was part of a naval program where she studied poisonous fish in Guam, Palau, and the Marshall Islands, and throughout Micronesia. Just bebopping all over the fucking place.
Shit done.
During this program, she learned to free dive, which is diving without any equipment or anything. Yep. It's just like holding your breath and controlling your breathing.
Which is super impressive.
Super impressive, very difficult. Like there's whole competitions for free diving. And she also learned how to spear fish from the indigenous fishermen who literally made their lives out of free diving and spearing fish, and they taught her. She also gained valuable insights into the local ecosystems from them. So she's reaching out to the people who live and work in this environment, and it's like, hey, I don't have to reinvent the wheel here. They know this environment. They know how to work within it.
Right. Like,
and
I
she's
can
reaching
use my
out to
resources.
them. Exactly.
Shocking.
Well, and I think there's a level of humility that you have to be open to that, and especially I think in science, there's a lot of like, we're so educated and we know everything and this is the way we do things and we have technology. It's like, actually, if you just go to a village of fishermen, they're gonna be able to tell you fucking everything about that area that has ever happened over the last 50 years.
Well, I think that's it too. Like, I almost think like women have an advantage in that because we're almost taught humility because of how, they're treated as less than men.
The socialization, the traditional socialization of women does encourage us to be
more humble,
less arrogant, and also to focus on those social interactions and those interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
That's where we put all of our skill points into. Which I just thought that was super cool. I'm like, how amazing would that be? So upon graduating with her doctorate, Jeannie earned a Fulbright scholarship to study fish in the Red Sea.
Ooh, fancy.
She would end up collecting about 300 different fish species, some of which had never been documented.
Holy shit.
We were kind of talking about like, it feels crazy to discover something that's already existed inside of someone's body forever. It's also kind of crazy. It's like, I discovered a fish species that has always fucking been here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just that no one has documented it. It's like
right.
its existence was not dependent on us knowing about it.
Well, you know, it's kind of like we haven't explored like the really deep oceans yet. And it is one of those things like there's going to be species down there that have been down there for God knows how long.
Oh, yeah.
And we just don't know about them.
There's some straight up dinosaur era shit down there. Okay. Like crocodiles and sharks haven't changed a lot since the dinosaur era, and they've persisted. There's some wild shit down,
definitely,
including sharks, actually. Like there was a recording, someone put a sub like at this really deep part of it wasn't like the deepest, but like it's dark, and they actually caught a video of a great white shark that would like swam up to it and like swam away, and it was the deepest I think that they'd ever recorded a great white shark going, because previously they didn't think they went that deep. And I'm like, great white sharks do what they fucking want.
Hell yeah, they do.
Including eating boats and Quint on the Orca. He survived the Indianapolis, but he couldn't survive that fucking shark on Amity Island. So
that's how it happens.
It kind of is. So she would. So one of the fish species that she's discovered was the Moses sole, which means
I don't know.
You know, it means something to someone. The important part for our story is that this fish produced a natural shark repellent. So like if a shark got close to it, it would excrete this repellent, and not only would the shark be like, ew,
fuck shit,
it would like start shaking its head like, nah.
Okay,
it was like, God, no.
Kind of like when skunks spray stuff, you know, like they shake their head to try to get the scent off.
Yes. So this actually inspired her to research its potential for human use. Like we have been pretty obsessed with like, I want to go in the ocean, but I don't want to interact with any of the animals that live in there, which I get. I do not want to run into a shark in the open ocean. It's not on my bucket list. Yeah. Okay. So she found actually that the repellent's effects wouldn't work long enough to be incorporated in something like sunscreen or other topical products, but it was something like that she was researching. And that's just like a little touch on her sharkiness and why she's called the Shark Lady.
That's amazing.
Jeannie wrote of this time in her early career in her memoir.
Her early career.
Lady with a Spear, which I'm like, that is so fucking hot.
Hell yeah.
This was reprinted in several languages, and she later said, quote, I began to realize I had a talent for communicating about the natural world. I came to see that would be my life's work. I love it's not just like she's evolved from being like, I'm hyperfixated on the ocean and marine life. And now she's evolving to, I need to be able to communicate to other people about the natural world, what we're discovering, what we're finding, and its importance. And I just love that character growth. So one couple actually became super fans of Jeannie in her book. Speaking of super fans, their names were Anne and William Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yes, as in Vanderbilt, the fucking railroad.
Yeah, I was to say like those Vanderbilts.
They keep popping up all the fucking time, and I love it. So they made heaping ass loads of money off of the railroads.
They're super rich.
Yep, and the family, Anne and William were not the ones who built the railroads. They were of that family, and they had the money. So Anne and William had an estate in Southwest Florida, and they invited Jeannie to speak at a public school there in 1954, where she presented about fish that she found in the Red Sea. And from the attendees, Jeannie learned that there were actually a lot of similar fish in the waters off of Florida, and they expressed interest in learning more about them. Like, oh my God, it's so crazy you're talking about these fish halfway across the world, because we've got fish that are kind of like that. I would love to know more about the fish in the oceans where I live, because it's just something like we want to know about the places we live, and we want to know about the animals in our ecosystems.
Oh yeah.
So the Vanderbilts did what they were famous for. They built, BILT, a goddamn lab named the Cape Hayes Marine Laboratory in 1955 and put Jeannie in charge of it.
Fuck yeah.
This is the shit. These are the vanity projects that we need billionaires to get excited about again. This is the shit that I would want to do if I was a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. I would fund so much random shit.
Instead of dying in a tin can under the sea, operated by an Xbox controller, or sending my girlfriend into space, or ruining a whole neighborhood in Palo Alto, or having a public divorce with the president, I would be building labs, fixing water issues, funding housing, and paying...
Supporting the arts.
And supporting the fuck out of the arts. And I would be paying some kid in my neighborhood to mow my lawn because I fucking hate that shit.
Right.
Young entrepreneurs. Anyway, billionaires do better. Running your own lab is a huge task. So Jeannie employed one person to help her.
Fuck yeah.
I'm just like...
Because she's like, I got this. Don't
girl.
worry about it.
The person she employed, he was a local fisherman named Beryl Chadwick as her assistant, which is an incredible name. Beryl Chadwick. Mm-hmm. We have Gaius Hyginus and Beryl Chadwick, and I shipped them across time and space. So Beryl Chadwick actually had experience in catching sharks, and because, of course, someone with that name has experience catching fucking sharks. Like, it's like the guy in Jaws had to be named Quint. He couldn't be named Joe.
Right. You can't have a normal name.
Work. Beryl fucking Chadwick. So sharks have always been a topic of fascination for people, whether it comes from a place of respect or fear. We have been fucking obsessed with these incredible murder fish. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't translate into knowing a lot about them, though, because they're in the water.
Exactly.
And the water be deep. And humans not be good with water.
Yeah, exactly. We can't breathe there.
It's difficult. We know more about space than we do our own oceans.
Which is crazy.
Even today, with all of our incredible technology, we know very little about sharks and how different species interact, mate, travel, and feed.
Well, like I said, like we've never been to the deepest part of our oceans. There is more unexplored ocean on this planet than anywhere else.
Yes. Wait. Like, do you mean other?
Like, no, meaning like, as far as like surface area, like there's more unexplored ocean than there is like stuff we've discovered.
Okay, I thought you were saying than on other planets with oceans.
No
and
shit.
I'm like,
well, mainly like Mars.
Actually, I don't know if I agree with that because
no, I mean,
I think
there's more unexplored ocean than we have actually explored like on our own planet.
Yes,
which is insane.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's 70% of our fucking planet. It's the majority of our planet. That's why in Lilo and Stitch, they shot him to Earth because he can't swim or float.
They're like, this is going to be fine.
They sent him into the middle of the ocean and he landed in Hawaii. And they were like, God fucking damn it.
Our aim is awful.
It's just like, you're going to hit 70% of the rest of the planet. And you hit this one island in the middle of the fucking ocean. God bless Disney. So... people were certainly curious though. Like we've always been like really into sharks. Okay.
We always like things that like kind of like that hunter thing. Like we like other things that are apex predators. Probably I wonder if like some of it is evolutionary of like, okay, how much of a threat is this?
Well, we're fascinated with shit that can kill us.
Yeah.
I know I am. That was like my whole childhood. I'm like war, disease, predators, sharks. Yes, I want to know about all of it. Tell me about the Holocaust. So John H. Helen, director of the New England Institute for Medical Research, made a request for Jeannie's lab to research sharks. Yes, very fancy.
And she's probably like, yes.
So Jeannie researched shark behavior, reproduction, anatomy, and more. And so Jeannie was actually known for scuba diving or diving with submersibles with the species that she was studying to observe them live in their natural environment, like the scene that I described at the beginning where she's just vibing with a fucking bull shark, making her one of the...
still sounds terrifying.
When I was in Costa Rica, that was the only thing that really freaked me out. Bull sharks.
Potential for bull sharks?
Yes. Yeah. And I even asked one of the guys, he's like, oh yeah, I see babies around here. And I'm like, don't...
like where there's babies, there's
I'm
mamas.
Like, well, I asked. But you know, it's the water could be a little like... murky, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the shade of the back of a bull shark because this is how they hunt, and I know I'm a tiny flesh puppet in this giant ocean, and I am not equipped to fucking be here.
Tiny flesh puppet.
I'm a tiny flesh puppet that just threw herself into the ocean like a jackass.
You are clearly a sacrifice.
I mean, maybe. Although snorkeling was a lot of fun. I did start to feel very like Little Mermaid swimming with schools of fish who did not give a shit that I was
exactly.
there.
Like most fish don't care.
So Jeannie is like scuba diving and submersibling with these sharks and stuff. And she was actually one of the only ichthyologists to study living specimens in this way.
Really? That's so cool.
This was not without its dangers. Actually, in one instance, Jeannie's air hose malfunctioned, nearly causing her to drown.
That's
Again,
terrifying.
It's not even that the ocean is ambivalent to your survival. It wants you to die. It wants you to die.
Yeah.
It wants you to die. I love the water. I have always been very comfortable in the water. I was quite anxious in the ocean. Didn't stop me from snorkeling with a stranger that I met on a beach at night that one time.
Yeah, you guys are insane.
But I was anxious. But this technique gave her a unique perspective on the behavior of marine animals, particularly sharks. And as she explained, quote, people generally thought that sharks are dumb eating machines. After some study, I began to realize that these, quote unquote, gangsters of the deep had gotten a bad rap.
Yeah.
Which, yes, that's like the shark's whole thing, that they have a bad rap. She learned to read their behaviors and even research their ability to learn. She trained sharks to tap a plate in the water and to get food, and learned that they could actually differentiate between plates with different symbols.
Yeah,
sorry.
So similar to like kind of how they trained rats with different things.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Fucking dolphins. It all comes back to Jaws 3.
Still haven't seen it.
It's proving to be oddly relevant to this episode for being such a not great movie. So she's actually able to train sharks to recognize different symbols to get positive reinforcement, which is essentially
insane,
it totally disproved the idea that sharks were
dumb,
mindless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jeannie studied
which is funny because like a lot of people still talk about them like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not accurate.
Have you ever seen
very intelligent.
Have you ever seen a shark's eyes? Black. Like a doll's eyes. Hardly seem to be living at all.
I assume you're quoting
Until it
one of
bites
the
ya.
Jaws movies.
And then the eyes roll back, and then there's nothing but the hollering and the screaming. That's from the first Jaws. It's a great speech that Quint gives about being on the Indianapolis, which we performed for survivors of the Indianapolis.
It's been a very long time.
It has. That's like one of my weird things. I want to memorize that whole bit because it's so amazing. Anyway. Where was I?
I don't know.
I'm talking about sharks. Okay, so Jeannie actually also studied the legendary quote-unquote sleeping sharks in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Pencil. So there had long been stories from locals about these sleeping sharks in undersea caves. And the idea was like there were sharks in these undersea caves that were just like quite literally sleeping, not moving, just like hanging
Chilling
out. And at the time, it was believed that all sharks had to keep swimming to move water through their gills and breathe. The idea was that no shark can stop moving, otherwise it will die. And by finding and studying the sleeping sharks, Jeannie debunked another myth and also blew open the door for like advanced knowledge on shark behavior. And again, this is so cool because she's talking to the locals who are like, yeah, there are sharks who sleep in these underwater caves in this area. We know this to be true. I don't care.
We can bring you there.
I don't care if you're a scientist who says that's bullshit. I've fucking seen it. And this kind of goes back to her working with like native people in these other areas
and actually their knowledge.
Yes, and actually listening to them. And it's like, okay, you either go there and you find nothing and you're like, okay, well, I can't say anything. Or you go there and you find something incredible, which is a bunch of sharks sleeping in underwater caves. I bet
and then
cute.
And then you get to bring to the scientific community this knowledge that locals have had forever.
Yes. In the summer of 1975, one of the most harmful pieces of media for sharks premiered. Jaws.
Oh, okay.
I did bring Jaws into this. I brought Jaws into this.
That does not surprise me.
Do not get me wrong. I fucking love Jaws. I feel like I have made that very clear.
It gave sharks a very bad rap.
It's a great movie. It's a great book. It's great entertainment. However, it became a PR nightmare for sharks. People went out in droves, killing sharks by the thousands out of fear of being attacked just because of this movie. Not because there were any attacks, not that that actually works, but because they saw this movie and they were like, we need to murder everything in the ocean. And much of the fear and fascination of sharks that we still have today still comes from this time. Peter Benchley, the author of Jaws, actually, he spent the rest of his life campaigning on behalf of shark conservation, and he was mortified by the unintended consequences of his book. When I was in, I think it was high school, I read a book by him that was all about like, guys, sharks are fucking amazing. They're not out to murder you. Please stop murdering sharks.
Right.
Like guys.
I'm sorry I wrote this book, essentially.
It's a good fucking book, man. It's a great movie. But also, we as adult human beings need to be able to differentiate from a movie and our real life behaviors. God damn it. So the sharks also had an ally in Jeannie Clark, who spoke publicly to dispel myths about sharks being bloodthirsty man-eaters, educating the public about how important sharks are to the ecosystem. Without sharks, we do not have healthy oceans, and explaining that the mass cullings of sharks were not only harmful to the oceans, but fucking useless in preventing the already very rare occurrence of shark attacks.
Well, and also like, it's going to be harmful to people, you know, like because you're harming the oceans.
Yes.
You're going to harm yourself.
Our planet is 70% ocean. You can't stop fucking with it. That thing, I get why the ocean wants to kill us. Exactly. I get it. Okay? Like, ocean sis, I see you. I get it.
We understand.
We understand. Please don't kill me, but I get it. She published a story in National Geographic titled Sharks, Magnificent and Misunderstood, which was widely popular. And that was one of the ways that she used to kind of like advocate for sharks and shark conservation. So again, she's still working at Cape Hayes. And as research from this place began to be published, the lab became a really popular destination for other marine biologists. The laboratory grew from Jeannie and Beryl Chadwick, my favorite, to hosting 25 research programs, a formal education division, and a public aquarium. Ooh. Where mothers dropped their children off because they had to work at the newspaper stand once a week. Despite being known as the Shark Lady, of course, because all of her work was sharks, Jeannie's research was not solely focused on sharks. She also researched algae and ocean flora with fellow marine biologist Sylvia Earley, which I'm like, yes, queen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She also researched other pelagic species, which are they're fish that do not live near the shore, reefs, or at the very bottom of the ocean. They're kind of like hanging out the middle, like the deep open ocean area. So like tuna, swordfish, they're all in there. In addition to studying at Cape Hayes, Jeannie returned to the Red Sea to study large pelagic species around the Eritrean Islands. She's
just doing the damn thing.
Does not fucking stop. Cape Hayes would eventually relocate to Cicada Key, Florida. Yes, I think I said that correctly. And be renamed to Mote Marine Laboratory. Just in case anyone's like, it's not actually called Cape Hayes. I know. I said
Emily's aware.
I said it. Now leave me alone. In 1966, Jeannie left Cape Hayes, which was renamed. I get it. To pursue teaching at City University in New York and the University of Maryland. Ooh. And throughout her career, Jeannie received fellowships, scholarships, medals, and various accolades for her work. This story kind of got to the point where I'm like, I can't just list everything because it's like, it doesn't mean anything to most of our listeners. Yeah, if you really want to know the specifics, fucking Google her. You have the internet. You're listening to a podcast. Even after her retirement in 1999, she continued teaching one class each semester. In 2000, she returned to Cape Hayes as a senior scientist, director emerita, and trustee until her death.
Dang. She did all the shit.
Bitch was married to the sea.
Which is amazing.
Jeannie never lost her love of the ocean, continuing to dive up until her death in 2015. 2015.
Yeah.
This bitch saw so much history.
Oh, yeah.
She said, quote, I figured if I'm in a wheelchair, they can wheel me out to the end of the boat, put a tack on my back, and dump me over the side of the boat, and I can go down to the bottom, and I can slay these fish
and you can
as long as I want. Yeah, she's like, I don't need legs to float in the ocean.
That's very true.
I'll be fucking fine. Like, just push me over the side, and I'm going to figure it out. Jeannie Clark conducted her last dive in 2014, publishing the results from her research in January of 2015.
That's crazy.
She died from lung cancer on February 25th, 2015 in Sarasota, Florida, with her research still undergoing review at the time. She literally never fucking stopped. I don't think I put the age she died, but she was like in her 80s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Like, bitch literally never stopped. Like the sharks. She had to keep moving to stay alive, to move the water through her gills, except for the sleeping sharks in Mexico, which she found. Throughout her career...
The rest of them, though.
Yes. Throughout her career, Jeannie conducted over 70 submersible dives, led more than 200 field research expeditions, you know, those things that she was allegedly too delicate for because she got lady bits, and worked on 24 television specials and an IMAX film.
Dang.
She received various honors, including being inducted into the Florida and Maryland Women's Halls of Fame. Fish species have been named after her, including, and I'm going to ask you to go into my notes for this, including a shark named Squalus clarkii, known as Jeannie's dogfish, and it is the cutest little fucker I have ever seen. It is the chihuahua of sharks.
Chihuahua, yeah.
And I love it. It's got this, it's little, okay, imagine a great white shark, and then make it really small, and then give it a giant green eye, and put it basically at the bottom of the ocean.
It's funny.
It is the cutest little motherfucker.
Yeah.
I am obsessed. Our girl also has a stamp issued by the USPS on May 4th, 2022 in honor of her 100th birthday. Ooh. Jeannie the Shark Lady's legacy endures. And I want to end this with a quote from her because she was a lady who definitely was not afraid to speak up for herself. The sea should be enjoyed. The animals in it. When you see a shark underwater, you should say, how lucky am I to see this beautiful animal in his environment. That may not have been the feeling that I had when I was swimming around in Costa Rica. I will say, if I didn't have a direct interaction with the shark, I would never stop talking about it though.
Oh yeah. I know.
And here, I love sharks. I've been reading about sharks since I was a little kid, totally obsessed. That does not mean I want to encounter one in the wild because I also understand that they are dangerous. Right. They are animals.
You understand that while they're not mindless beasts, they do still pose a threat.
And I don't know if you looked at my notes, but the image that I described at the beginning, which I will post on our socials, it is the craziest fucking thing. Look at that. It's huge.
That's amazing.
And she's just
I would be terrified.
What's up, baby?
She's in its blind spot.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. They barely have bones. That fish could fold itself in half because it's made out of rubbery cartilage, and it's not a big deal.
That's true.
So, Kelly, should we read from the book of Ruby Rubin?
Yeah, I think it's your turn.
Okay, can you hand me the book, please?
No.
It is closer to you. I'm going to have to get up. There's going to be there's not a lot of space to move around here. I don't know what day we're on. It feels like forever since we've recorded, even though it's not.
I think it's this one.
Okay, let's see.
Because I remembered the one before it, so I'm pretty sure that's the one we're on.
Dia 12, day 12. Speak kindly to yourself. I already know this is going to be a very hard one for me to swallow.
Same.
This morning, when I did not like the look of the jeans I put on, I told myself so. fucking relatable.
I know, like,
nothing
right off the bat.
Here's the thing. I grew up, I wore like nothing but jeans. Nothing has hurt women's self-esteem more than trying on jeans at a store. Nothing will break you down the way that trying on jeans will. Old Danny would have continued a barrage of ugly remarks about my looks, but instead, I looked in the mirror and I said, hey, put on a different pair. No biggie.
Jesus.
And I shook it off and changed.
Nope.
That's
a
unicorn.
Yeah.
See how Proverbs 18:21 say everything you say is either producing life or death? Oh shit, I gotta watch what I'm
dark,
saying.
Yeah.
It's just as true when you talk to yourself as when you are speaking to others. Just like with my jeans this morning, I have to choose words of life over words of death. That's the kind of conversations I want to have with myself, the ones that are truthful, kind, and full of life. Friend, I always love when the author says friend because that's how we referred to kids at the daycare. We didn't say kids. We didn't say child. We were like, we're going to be kind to our friends here. Hey, friend, we're not going to hit each other with 2x4s, okay?
It's a very specific. Why do you have 2x4s at a daycare? No, just
building blocks.
I know.
Wooden building blocks. Friend, stop being mean to yourself. Seriously. If you are going to be the person who does the brave things that Ruby Rubin is calling you to do, speaking life and developing beautiful things in others with your words, it begins with doing that for yourself. Valid. Self-talk is a big part of everyone's life. We constantly and subconsciously have thoughts running through our minds that direct our days. You need to listen to those. The negative ones, the ones that cut you down and make you feel unloved and afraid, time to chuck them. Stop your self-identity. Stop yourself.
Stop your self-identity.
Stop your self-identity. Stop yourself, comma. Identify the lie, comma. And then say the truth in its place. Speaking kindly to yourself will make you brave. And if you're having trouble finding reasons to speak kindly to yourself, remember, it's not that you have earned the love of Ruby Rubin or that you deserve love. Ruby Rubin loves us even though we don't deserve it. John 4:19. You haven't earned this love. It's a gift. We don't attempt to beat the lies and believe the truth and love ourselves because we are perfect. We do it because in our imperfections, Ruby Rubin loves us deeply and has made us just the way she wanted. You can speak kindly to yourself because Ruby Rubin loves you deeply, because you are hers. Speak kindly to yourself as Ruby Rubin's daughter speaks kindly to you. Those words have power, and if you believe them, you will be brave. And the challenge for today's episode, be brave. Write yourself a quick note and list 3 things you are thankful for about yourself. In parentheses, seriously, full stop. Do it. I will say, I love the sass that comes out with like Annie Downs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yeah, that's probably how I would write this. I mean, there would be a lot more swearing. So much more swearing. Yeah. Well, Kelly, say something nice about yourself.
Why do I have to go first?
Because I just spoke for like 20 minutes.
I'm compassionate.
Ah, shit, you stole mine. I was going to say I'm empathetic. Fuck! Damn it!
I'm glad I went first.
Okay.
Say something nice about yourself, Emily.
I'm going to say I'm really good at hyping people up.
You are.
I've had people tell me that I'm like the ultimate hype person. And I'm like, because it's really easy to recognize the beauty and the wonderful characteristics in other people. And it makes me feel good to shout that shit out. Now, according to the book, I need to work on hyping myself up and saying nice things about myself because
you need to be your own hype woman.
Because Ruby Rubin loves me. It's a journey.
It is. I will. Yeah, it definitely is. We'll get there. We'll all get there.
Well, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Whining About Herstory. Like us on Facebook at Whining About Herstory, Instagram at WAHPad, where I'm going to put this bitchin' shark photo.
Yeah.
It's
Our
your
website.
turn.
I know. I was like contemplating the bitching shark photo.
It's a bitchin' shark.
Bitching shark photo.
Incredible.
Our website is Finding About Herstory, where you can find a link to all of our social medias, all of our episodes, and as well as our merch, which is also pretty bitchin'. You can find a link to that $1 a month Patreon subscription that Emily talked about earlier. You can also find a link to our Buy Me a Coffee, where for $5 you can sponsor a glass of wine, or $15 could get you an entire bottle, where we'll kind of buy a wine that is roughly themed after you.
Just give us recommendations. Also, seriously, it is only going to take $5 minimum to get Kelly fucking wasted to
Talk about
off-script
Greek
talk
history.
about Greek mythology.
I don't think I should have agreed to
Get
this.
your friend group together, folks.
You
Create
have 1 month and like 2 weeks. A
create
week and a half.
new emails and pretend you're another. I do not care how this happens, okay? But we will do it. We will 100% do it. If we get 5 new patrons, funerarians and funeristas are all welcome. By October 1st, Kelly's going to get shit-faced. I will get shit-faced with her because I'm a girl's girl. And she's going to draw Greek figures out of a bowl and just talk about them off script.
Just like bitch about.
We did not
most
talk
of
about
them.
this beforehand
No,
either.
like this is completely off script, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
god, I'm a little intimidated.
It's
but
happening.
I'm pretty sure I could do it.
It's fucking happening. We're going to do it for the patrons. Fucking make it happen.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Also, rate us 5 stars wherever you listen because it gives us the warm fuzzies and pisses
does.
off all the right people.
It also does.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Whining About Herstory. I'm Emily.
I'm Kelly.
Have an empowered day. And remember, Ruby Rubin loves you.
And so do we.
And we might love you more. I'm just saying.
We probably
It's
love
a
you more,
lot.
Let's
It's
be
a
honest.
fucking lot.
I don't even think you can comprehend the amount.
It's
a
off the
little
charts.
scary.
It's obsessive. It's unhealthy. We're in therapy about it. It's fine.
It's not really working, but shh.
Bye.
Bye.
Love sharks.